In the last 2 weeks of my trading, I've been maintaining an incredibly high accuracy rate, and with scalping, there's a lot of subtle nuances to get right if you want to be successful. And so make sure to stick around and watch this entire video, because in this, we're breaking down those strategies that I've used, plus showing you the different nuances so you can be successful in scalping. What's up, team? It's your favorite day trading YouTuber, John with BT, and we're back today for another strategy video so you can improve your trading game. I've been maintaining a super high accuracy rate, like I said in the intro, up to 90% in some of these days. But before we look at those strategies, if you want to help support the channel, you can hit the like, hit the sub button below. And if you want to check out the funded account program we're using for futures, I'll include a link in the description that gets you 20% off. Now, with all of that said, let's take a look at these actual strategies.
Okay, so like I said in the intro, there's a lot of powerful scalping strategies that you can implement if you trade them the correct way, but there's a lot of nuances to scalping. It's really a risky trading style, so you have to understand what you're doing before you put your real money on the line, and so that's really what I'm trying to show you in this video specifically. If you followed along with the stream this past week, you know how successful I've been scalping not only futures, but penny stocks and mid and high caps as well. And so that's what I'm going to try to kind of relay to you in this video, is just how I do it, and I'm going to try to get all those nuances right here so you can really take some profits out of the market using these scalping strategies. And so with all of that said, let's take a look at this list. Okay, so the first strategy that I wanted to go over today is a really simple range break dip buying scalping strategy. I know that's a lot to kind of take in, but it's actually pretty simple, and so let's take a look at it now. I'm watching the SPY here, but if you trade the Emini with futures, it's basically the same thing, and a lot of the time I'll watch the SPY or the S&P 500 just to give me that momentum on the Emini, just because I think the charting is a little bit cleaner with the SPY or the S&P 500 on Thinkorswim. And so what I look for is I wait for a really obvious range to form, and I can even use pre-market levels since I'm watching the SPY here, and I can document the highs and lows of a specific range. Once that happens, I wait for that range to actually break, and you can see that actually happen here at 349.20. Once we get the range break, instead of just blindly jumping in at that level break, we instead wait for it to break the range and then pull back to that previous high of the day. What this does is it allows us to avoid getting faked out more often, and instead gives us a tighter risk and a better entry. And so we jump in at that dip buying level, and then we just scalp it in and out. We're not trying to marry this move, because again, if you try to marry it, a lot of the time these are just going to fake you out. But if you instead play it for a really quick scalping dip buy, it can be an incredibly profitable one and also have a really great accuracy rate to take advantage of. Again, the key with this one is that you don't just jump in at the high of the day break, and that you don't marry the move as well. And so you're really just looking for it to break that previous high, dip back down to test that support level, and you're just jumping in for a really quick bounce, in and out, taking your money and being done with it. The next strategy I wanted to go over here is a really simple one, but it's also effective if you trade it right. And so we're looking at the SPY here again, and this is really what I look at when I'm trading the E-mini specifically, because I can evaluate the pre-market levels as well here. And so what I look for with this specific strategy is I look for a red to green move at the opening bell. That's not necessarily what I'm looking to take advantage of or enter on, but it's important for the trade because I look for a red to green move and then a break above the VWAP specifically on the SPY. Once that happens, I'm trying to dip buy on the pullback to the VWAP area. And so we break above the VWAP, changing trends from a downward trend to an upward one. And then when we get the VWAP dip buy here, that's where I'm loading into shares and trying to scalp out very, very quickly. Sure, this one might sometimes break the previous high of the day and continue on its run, but that's not what I'm trying to take advantage of here. I'm simply trying to take advantage of the range in between the VWAP and the previous high of the day. And so I'm jumping in, dip buying it at the VWAP, and then selling right around that previous high of the day for a really quick scalp. And again, like I said before, if you trade this one right, it has an incredibly high accuracy rate. You just have to not be stubborn and not try to hold on to this one too long. The next strategy that I want to go over is a really simple one, but it's super effective if you trade it right. And so the first thing we're looking for, I'm just watching the SPY here, is we're looking for a stock to maintain in an upward trend above the VWAP initially. Once we have that and we have a few confirmed levels, we look for a quick break below the VWAP and below those levels specifically. Once we get that, we short into the bounce, retesting the VWAP, and we can use those previous levels to act as resistance. And so once we get that bounce, we short into it, and then we just try to cover before it hits that previous low that was formed below the VWAP area. Because if you try to hold this one too long, like you can see here, it will kind of fight and test and kind of reclaim the VWAP and continue moving up sometimes. And so we're just trying to take advantage of that range in between the VWAP and the low that formed underneath it. If you do that, again, it's an incredibly effective strategy and can have a really high percentage rate as well. Another really simple strategy that I've been using on the Emini and the SPY here is just a compact opening range breakout situation. And so what we look for at the opening bell is a few compact range candles that form. In this case, you can see one between that high and low. It's a really tight range, and sometimes with momentum, the tighter the range and the more compact that range actually is, the more powerful and bigger the breakout is when it actually breaks it. And so you can see here, once the break happened, volume did come in, and we were able to scalp in and out very quickly of this tight compact opening range here. This is what you see a lot of people talk about with opening range breakouts, and again, you can use a 5-minute chart or a 1-minute chart, but what I really like to look for these is a really tight range. The more obvious of a range, the more people that are actually going to jump in when the range actually breaks, and so remember that moving forward. Another thing to consider with these as well is that you don't want to marry these moves. It's a scalping strategy, and so you're just looking for quick momentum to get in and out, take your money and run. Okay, so the last setup that I wanted to go over in today's video is a setup that you've seen me trade not only in penny stocks, but in futures and mid and high caps. It's the 1-minute pullback strategy, but in this case, we're using it as a consolidation indicator. I talked about this in a bunch of previous videos, but what we really want to see either in the E-mini, the SPY, the S&P 500, penny stocks, so forth and so on, is we want to see a 1-minute consolidation candle either right before or right after a big level break. And so in this instance, we're looking at the SPY, and we can see a confirmed level, which is also a whole dollar level at 351. You could see as it confirmed that level and started to move up to retest it, we had a 1-minute pullback. We're just looking for a 1-minute red candle for consolidation, and you can see that here, and you can see when this level actually breaks after that, volume comes in and we get a really nice move up. One of the nuances that I really want to get across in this video is just how important getting out of the trade is with scalping. A lot of times traders really want to try scalping, but they just hold the position too long until the stock or security goes against them. And with scalping, if you could just take advantage of a few cents up or down, it can be a really profitable system. You just have to have the discipline to get out and not have FOMO in these type of trades. It's super important with scalping, and it's one of the biggest things that traders get wrong with it, because you're really not trying to marry these moves. You're not trying to take the broader positions, and scalping isn't for everybody, because a lot of people get FOMO and just hold on to these positions too long, and it causes the system to fail.
Anyways, team, that's it for this one. Remember, if you want to help support our completely free day trading content, I'll include a few links below. The first one is Trader Mike's Discord. It's a super active Discord that has a lot of talented, profitable traders there. And you can also go check out our very own Discord, and that's really the best place to reach out to us as well. I'll include both of those Discord links in the description. The best part is they're completely free as well. Again, if you want to check out the futures funded account program we're using, you can get 20% off. It's the cheapest one I've ever used, and I'll include that below as well. Good luck in the market, guys. Remember to take it slow. It's always the right move to take it slow and really find consistency first. Good luck, and we'll see you all later. Have a good day, team.